It's signing week at 24/7 Sports, and we're taking a look at North Carolina and Mac Brown's sixth signing group. In his second stint at UNC, the Tar Heels rank number 26 nationally and number 4 in the ACC. Brian Dohn and Don Callahan of InsideCarolina.com join me now to break down this class. And we will start with the highest rated prospect in the class. That is four-star wide receiver Jordan Shipp, one of the biggest risers in our final top 247 rankings, jumping from 212 to 91 in the overall national rankings. That's thanks to his play at the All-American Bowl. Don, what are your expectations for Jordan Shipp?
I first probably should give the disclaimer that outside of his mother, you're not going to find a bigger Jordan Shipp fan than myself. This kid blew me away when I saw him at a camp prior to his sophomore season and just continue to make everybody a believer. And what does that mean for his UNC career? I think just, constantly fighting for playing time. I mean, this is a kid who he's not the tallest, not the fastest, but will just make plays. He's super competitive. I know that's a term thrown around a lot, but when you're around him, it's just a different level. I mean, he's always out there at every rep, every practice. He practices with a chip on his shoulder, like he always has something to prove. And I think really that's going to result in him being one of the few receivers to see the field very early on.
Jaden Patterson and Malcolm Ziegler are the next highest rated recruits in this class, and they are two of the top 15 safeties in the nation. Brian, what do they add to the secondary?
Yeah, I think first of all, for me, they add size, they add athleticism, and they add speed. I think when I watched North Carolina later in the season, I wanted to see a little bit more physical play out of safeties, and I wanted to see speed. And one of the things with Jaden Patterson that I look at that I love is this is a kid that just started playing on defense a few years ago. He was a wide receiver until his junior season, and you look at him playing safety, and it's like, oh my goodness, the tape is there. He influences the game in all three aspects, just in terms of offense, special teams. He's a kid that blocked, I think, six kicks in his high school career. I mean, he may have blocked kids too, who knows? But with the kicks, it tells you that you can use him there on special teams, get him into the flow early at North Carolina. But 47 tackles, 3 picks as a senior. He's got speed. I think it was an 11:02 is his best in the 100 meters. And you see the top end speed when he ran at 22:18 and 200 meters. So I love every aspect about Patterson. And because the position is still new to him, there's a lot of room for growth potential. And then Malcolm Ziegler, I know, Don talked about how much he liked Shipp, from the first time he saw him. Ziegler was that way with me. He has length, he has size, he can run. You're talking about a kid who was a 10.79 and 100. That's incredible to me. A lot of sub-11s in the track game, which translates onto the field. You watch him play. 37 tackles, a couple picks. Again, multi-way player who had 22 touchdowns as a senior. But I look at him, I think he's more, when we look at Patterson, I think he could impact more in the run game. I look at Ziegler, I say, man, that kid can really get outside of the numbers and cover as a safety. He's got good man-to-man skills. He tracks the ball well. When I look at both of those guys, I think that North Carolina upgraded in size, length, speed, athleticism. And by the way, they're also pretty smart kids too, which is a nice caveat on top.
All great things. Now, this class has a record 21 early enrollees. 17 were able to join practices for the Duke's Mayo Bowl. Don, any players you've seen that you think can make an immediate impact?
Well, I like to always look at what the opportunities are, and I think the opportunity is the best for a guy like Davion Bullet Gauss, who is walking into a situation where Omarion Hampton is the clear starter, but behind him, there's not a whole lot of reliable running backs on North Carolina's roster. You have Caleb Hood, who's played a bunch but has been injured a lot, and then you have some younger guys. But Gauss is coming in, and he has played one of the tougher high school schedules the past couple of years at Chaminade Madonna. They won the Florida State Championship. Most of the games were complete blowouts. So he's played with a lot of really good players and against a lot of really good players. So he's going to have plenty of opportunity at North Carolina to see the field pretty early.
All right, Don Callahan and Brian Dohn with the latest on UNC's 2024 recruiting class. Thank you, guys. And for more UNC football and recruiting news, head over to InsideCarolina.com. Don and his staff are bringing you the best coverage on all things North Carolina all year long.